How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So, as you all may know, in 2018, we're going to be getting Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, but in 2019, we have a confirmation, by the way, from the Pokemon Company, from Nintendo, and from them dudes over there at Game Freak, that we're going to be getting a new generation, Generation 8, in 2019, and it's going to go back to how Pokemon really is, you know, kind of supposed to be, like the basic formula for the main series games, but of course, with added Pokemon, new region, new features, and also, of course, on the bloody Switch. But this year, we have a bit of a kind of a bit of a watered down sort of Pokemon, more for the casual audience and the people who aren't really hardcore into Pokemon. It's going to be this year, which is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. But the big question is, what do we know about next year's games? What do we know about Pokemon, you know, in 2019? We know 2018 is going to be Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and we know it's supposed to be some sort of like, not really a remake, but kind of a reboot, so to say, a retelling, reimagining of Pokemon Yellow, and the Kanto region again is what we're having this year as a bit of a nostalgia trip, as a way for Nintendo and Pokemon just kind of like expand their potential revenue. But the real question is, what are we getting next year? And out of the things we're getting next year, what is like, is it possible that, like, you know, there are any rumors so far, any leaks we know about, or any information we know about so far from previous rumors that we thought for this year, but actually maybe for next year? So I'm going to have these videos for you guys in the next few days, where I'm going to go through some of these old rumors and try to see if they maybe would work more for next year, because keep in mind, this game for this year, 2018's game, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they've been developed in 2 years. They were made in 2 years, but the games for next year are confirmed to have been in development for over 3 years now. By the time we get them next year, it's going to be almost 4 years of development time for those games, according to as far as we know so far. It's going to be about 4 years to 3 years of development in total for the games of 2019, which will be enough time for them to make a great, you know, generation. But also, there probably has been leaks of it, because keep in mind, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they were rumored. Pixelpar had information. Like, tons of people had info on it, right? Even it feels like some of the, you know, Chinese and Japanese community also may have had info on it, because some said it was like underwhelmingly looking and that sort of stuff. They weren't really excited for this year. They were more hyped for 2019, etc. And one of these riddles that I want to go into, one of these rumors that's pretty old actually, it's really, really old. Before I even went into too much of the rumor stuff, and I didn't really talk much about it, there was this one here about the starter Pokemon riddles for 2019 actually, but it, you know, we thought it was about going to be 2018 back when we first saw it, but it actually could be for 2019. I thought we'd go through these, see what they're all about, how they look and all that stuff, and just go through it really quick here for you guys and, you know, see what they actually tell us. So, let's start with it. So, rumor, riddles hinting at Gen 8 starter Pokemon. So, note about rumor posts, as always, we cover rumors as point of discussion and advise readers to never treat them as fact. Pokemon is a source of entertainment that we love and discuss, discuss the latest bits of online hearsay is just a part of the fun. So, yeah, keep in mind, guys, rumors are simply rumors. Take all stuff that you see on the internet with a grain of salt until it's, you know, officially confirmed. Same thing with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, guys. A lot of people thought it was fake, right? A lot of people were like, oh, it's bullshit. I said, like, take it with a grain of salt. It looks real to me, but it's still a rumor until we get confirmation. And guess what? They were actually real. The logo was real. The leaks were real. All that stuff, it was actually real. And keep in mind, the actual, like, leak came in April the 1st, you know what I mean? It was correct. It's just so strange, so freaking strange, but it happened, and it was real. So, keep in mind, this could also be potentially real for the future, but we don't know. Also, shout out to Poke Serena, because she was the actual person who received this info originally, and went through it originally and actually explained it. So let's start with the actual info we have here. So, today we're looking at new rumors, which allegedly first appeared in the Japanese fandom, and has since gained some recognition on English forums as well. So, usually these things pop up in, like, the Japanese, the Chinese forums, and, you know, they're kind of versions of Reddit and kind of 4chan and stuff like that. They show up in those areas, usually forums more like than, you know, 4chan type stuff, but they show up there and they usually kind of start dissecting it really quickly, and this was dissected very fast by people. So as the information goes, someone with insider knowledge is going to the route of the Chinese Riddler, who revealed many tidbits about Sun and Moon. So if you don't know about the Chinese Riddler, this was an individual, actually, I think it's kind of a bit of complication there, because the Japanese Riddler is actually the individual who revealed way more stuff. The Japanese Riddler had more info than the Chinese Riddler, but both of them have actually, you know, given us leaks and rumors and stuff that, you know, turned out to be real. Chinese Riddler gave us info about Sun and Moon. I think the names and the logos actually were leaked by the Chinese Riddler right before, like, they showed off the official logos, you know, during the reveal, which is kind of similar to what we had now with Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Usually happens, like, very close to the actual reveals, and same thing happened, you know, back with Sun and Moon. So, generally speaking, the Chinese Riddler does have some credibility. and sharing information in the form of riddles. To be clear, this is a different person. They shared 3 images which may have guessed to represent the 3 starting Pokemon of Generation 8. And then we can go through here what they actually have to say, and I think there was, I think if you want to get more info, guys, I will actually tell you, go check out PokeSiren. I'll make sure to link her channel down below, because she did an even more in-depth breakdown of these characters and what they could mean, and what Pokemon and what animal they're most likely, you know, supposed to connect to. So I would recommend checking that out, because that'll probably give you a best, like, possible answer to what this is all about. But the first one here, the hero of Dragon Quest, I think it's, is that Dragon Quest 8, I guess? Yeah, Dragon Quest 8 has a small rodent buddy called Munchie, who helps him in battle. If I had to choose one distinct clue from the image, I'd lean toward the sword of the rodent. Which, I don't know, sword or the rodent, sorry. Alright, that was 2. Twitter follower SM Nentaria, as he's a descendant of dragons. So, you know, of course, first of all, so this was one of the characters right here, this image, which I'll show on the screen here for you guys again. So this is from Dragon Quest 8, as far as I understood. It's supposed to be from Dragon Quest 8, and they think it's either the sword or the little rodent. Now, I think it could be the rodent. I mean, the rodent it looks a bit like, I guess like a little bit of a guinea, like a guinea pig or a hamster. I mean, I don't know, something like that, right? That's kind of what it reminds me of when I first look at it. But other than that, I don't think anything else here would tell me what, like, you know, starter this would be hinting at. I personally can't really think of anything, but I think PokeSiren went into it pretty good there, and she kind of gave a better explanation for it, so I'll probably check out her video where she explains that stuff even better. But go a little bit back here, and we see the next one is an ancient depiction of the labyrinth, which is known in Greek mythology for holding the mighty Minotaur within. Could one of the starters be based on this mythological beast? The Fire-type starting Pokemon have followed the Chinese Zodiac as far as their animal inspirations, and they're yet to be an Ox-like Pokemon. So, this is actually really cool here. So, the Labyrinth here is supposed to be kind of the representative of the Labyrinth within Greek mythology, where, you know, actually, I think I've seen this in movies before, but, like, where, the, Minotaur, wait, no, it wasn't a Minotaur, it was a, what's it called again? Yeah, it is a Minotaur, yeah. So, the Minotaur is kept within there. The Minotaur, I guess, is a bit of a mixture between a bull, or an ox, or whatever, and a human. I guess it's kind of a mixture of those two into one, so to say. And I think that will make sense, because if we haven't had an ox-like or a bull-like or whatever type Pokemon yet, but it would fit into this kind of like this theory that exists that all the Pokemon starters that are fire type are based on the Chinese Zodiacs, which is a bit strange. I don't think they are, but I mean, a lot of them do fit into the categories of the Chinese Zodiacs. They do. I'm not going to deny that. That is very true. But here's the issue, though. They do fit into those categories, but some of them are stretches. Some of the ones aren't even, like, actually proper fits. Like, for example, I think there's one for dog, and people put, like, Fennekin into the dog spot, but Fennekin is a fox. It's not a dog. I mean, if you want to make the leap, right, and say, oh, this is kind of like... I think, like, if they are based on the Chinese Zodiac, I think it's just like a little bit of a side thing, right? It isn't like they specifically go to make sure that every single, like, starter Pokemon for every new generation that's a fire starter has to fit into this Chinese Zodiac. I think they just kind of, like, loosely base it on that, and then just kind of make their own little versions of things. So if they do make a Pokemon that's a fire type, then I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, a little bull or, like, a little ox or whatever. I wouldn't actually be surprised. I actually think it would be pretty cool. So I don't know. I think that could work, but then again, I wouldn't put too much trust into this idea of, like, the Chinese Zodiacs being, like, what they base the starters on. I know that, like, people are going to be, like, going crazy about that, being like, oh, no, you're wrong. But there have been people who've debunked those kind of, that Zodiac whole thing and whatnot. But then again, there's also been moments where people are like, oh, yeah, you know, next year is not going to be, this Pokemon, it's not going to be based on this and this creature. But then it turns out actually, you know, it actually happens. I think specifically, people weren't expecting, like, a cat or, like, a tiger or whatever, and then you got yourself Litten, and it was like, okay, shit, well, that's strange, okay, that's strange. So, there is maybe a little connection there, but how large that connection is, and if it's very likely to happen, I don't know. I wouldn't mind an Ox-like Pokemon or a Fire starter. I wouldn't mind. I'll actually be pretty on for that. So, that's cool. But the final one is Chinese character Sha Weijing, which, from a classic tale, commonly known as a water buffalo for his stubborn, physical approach to life. Could be inspiration for the water-type starting Pokemon. So, in simple terms, we could be working with a rodent, a ox-like Pokemon, and a buffalo. I don't feel like a buffalo would be very likely. I mean, I guess it would fit with the character there, but Would they really want to do an ox and a buffalo? They're very similar in kind of like design, I would say, like a buffalo and an ox. I feel like there wouldn't be enough a difference between the two to actually make that possible. Now, I've seen people say like there is another option here. I heard about this a while back. There is another option for the water starter, which was supposed to be something like a really creepy little creature that, like, you know, you can't even recognize its face because it doesn't look like an actual creature or actual Pokemon. We've also heard rumors, by the way, and this is actual info that came out around the same time Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee were revealed. They said for the 2019 games is that what's going to happen is the starters are not going to be, they're going to be very reminiscent of the Gen 5 starters. So they're not going to be very like normal Pokemon starters. They're going to look very much not like Pokemon. They're not going to look the way we're used to Pokemon. According to what we've heard, that's what they've said. They're not going to look much like the Pokemon we've seen. I actually don't know if this was from the Chinese leaks or whatever, but this information came out, and it was around the same time that the same people were also leaking Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee info and all that stuff, right? So, I don't know, guys. Take this with a grain of salt as per usual, and I don't know, what do you guys think about this? So, keep in mind that the many rumors involving Generation 8 have stressed a focus on the theme of past, present, future. This may even extend to the design of the region's Pokemon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for and there you go. So PokeSerena, helped him essentially gather this info. PokeSerena is amazing. She gets all this info done, done deal, diddly good, and I'll just make sure to link her channel down below so you guys can check out her video on it as well. But guys, I want to ask you, you guys on your opinions. Do you think a rodent, like a little guinea pig or whatever, starter Pokemon would be cool? I mean, when I think of a guinea pig, the first thing that comes to mind to me is like, the only Pokemon I can think is like in a similarity would be probably Cyndaquil, would be the closest kind of thing I could think of in terms of like a little guinea, like a little tiny rodent type Pokemon is what comes to mind to me. And I wouldn't mind another one like that, but this one would be, I guess, a grass type if the, then again, I mean, I don't know. This is such a strange situation. I don't know, guys. But either way, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you guys think this could be real? Do you think it could be fake? Like, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ruffle Rallets. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.